Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to everyone. Unfortunately, we know there was no morning brews this morning because I was meant to have an appointment with a dentist with my daughter. But as always, in this beautiful country of ours, you get let down and they cancelled on me. So, me and Brian decided to do a nice little pre-record today for you all. And yeah, it's on Ange Postecoglou's comments. Before we get into that, how are we doing, sir?
Yeah, I have to say, first of all, good morning, afternoon, evening to everyone. I have to say, when you were talking about the dentist and then you went, and as always, it was very, very hard for me to not get the fingers out and start going. But as you said, they screwed up morning brews. We thought that there would only be evening brews, but thankfully our gaffer has come out and dropped some comments, and you and I thought, you know what? Here's a little segment we can do. So we're going to break this down, aren't we, Dave?
We are, yeah, we are. There's some comments, some little news about players. Obviously, we'll get into that. But yeah, let's start it off. Let's go for the first one. So the first quote from Ange that was put out on X was this one. From a coaching perspective, we've all come back with a real determination to build on what we started last year. Now, obviously, last year, it did start off really well. We can't deny that. The first 10 games, we went unbeaten. It was looking super positive for us. Then the Chelsea game rolled around, the issues with that. And the whole season after that was just so up and down, back and forth. We were frustrated as a fan base. Everyone was annoyed. The season did not go as planned for anyone. And I think Ange literally sat there and understood that this season didn't go as planned as what he thought, the players thought, the backroom staff thought. Everyone around Tottenham did not think that the season was going to go a bit downhill as it did. Now, with quotes like this, you hope next season that there's going to be a change. We hope to see in pre-season, which there's a game tonight. Looking forward to against Hearts, 7 o'clock UK time. We want to see change. We want to see a different Tottenhamers from last year, because the first 10 games, we were fantastic. It looked great. We were all positive. We were all excited about it. And then we just started letting goals in for fun and just had no ability to score. Then injuries, then suspensions, then dramas with the African Cup of Nations and the Asian games and stuff like that, where players were leaving and things. Our season just got derailed way too early. We ended up out of cups early. I mean, Ange tried using different players. That just failed massively. We were out of cups early. And yeah, it was, I'm hoping that Ange's seen the issues and is now looking to this new season as a way to go, right, okay, we had this issue there, we're going to fix that. We had this issue here, we're going to fix that. We need a player there, we're going to fix that. But so far in this window, mate, we haven't fixed anything. So it's a big worry. It's a big worry. What are your thoughts on his comments there, Bryce?
So Dave, do me a favour, just quickly bring the comment up again for me, just to quickly go. So obviously, from a coaching perspective, we've all come back with a real determination to build on what we started last year. Now, let's face it, he's not going to come in and go, well, we've come here, we don't have a clue what we're going to do. We wish we had a couple of weeks extra holiday. Nothing's going the way we wanted it. And we'll see what happens. Of course, he's going to come back with a bounce, a vigour, a positive attitude. And obviously, there's been the coaches that have gone and new ones that have come in, and we're going to see how that goes. And obviously, it's always the dawn of a new era, the start of a new season. And we know he's positive. Obviously, he got a little bit rattled towards the end of the season when the form dropped off a cliff. But hopefully, the season will start. A lot of these players will know the Ange Postecoglou way now. We'll come back. And as I was saying on We Are Tottenham TV, you look at it, the players, people like Maddison and Porro, have got a point to prove. Didn't make their country squads. Obviously, both got to the finals, different results for each, respectively. But do they come back and go, right, I'm going to show why it was a mistake to drop me, or they go the other way? So there's a lot of things to look forward to seeing in pre-season. Like you said, we'll get a sneak peek tonight away at Hearts. But yeah, with this one, this is an obvious comment. When someone says, well done, you got the job, you're not going to go, oh yeah, well, yeah, okay, thank you. Of course you're going to be positive. So it's the words we'd expect, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It is the words you expect and everything, and you just hope that them words are put down onto the pitch, like within the players and within things. And also, you mentioned about coaches style evening. Obviously, while we had this all set up, a little thing came out from Tottenham with Ange as an interview. In sport, you're constantly evolving and changes are being made, and obviously that's in regards to the backroom staff, coaches.
Yeah.
But are you hoping them words are also towards, you know what I mean, like our set pieces or defensive and attacking? Are you hoping that that's being implemented within the team and what he's saying there, that we are evolving? Are you hoping Ange is evolving with his style of football as well? Because last season we had pretty much one style. And yes, when we were high energy and we were all fit at the beginning of the season, that worked out great. When injuries occurred, players weren't fit, players got injured. That system did not work for us. It just did not work for us. Now, obviously, we finished fifth. I think it was it? Yeah, fifth we finished, I think. Not a bad position to finish in his first season, but we could have done better if he tweaked a couple of little things, if he tweaked the defense stuff like that. So then words he's saying then, obviously, is in regards to the coaching staff. Do you think that's going to be in regards to the team as well, that we're going to evolve as a team now and that he's going to change himself, evolve as a manager?
I would hope so. I mean, that comment is literally, it's one of those open to interpretation, isn't it? Like the offside rule or the handball rule. It's like literally, could that be at the board? Could that be at the scouting network? Could it be the medical team? Could it be his coaching staff? And I hope it is the players. And like we said, listen, if someone had said to us fifth at the beginning of the season, we all would have taken it. But you got to remember, after those 10 games, when those stats came up, that people from these amount of points at this time, only one team has not made it into the Champions League. All those kind of stats that came out obviously fell flat on our face, and Tottenham have done something that not many teams did in a bad way. So you got to hope that definitely for the players, and more importantly, him and his playing style. Maybe he has realised this is the Premier League. Maybe I do need to. Well, we're going to see in the coming season, but I'm hoping that is for the entire club, because he did say after after the Man City game, didn't he? The foundations, or whatever the word was he used, both inside and outside of the club, need changing. So let's hope that's what he was getting at there.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let's move on to the next little quote from Ange, which is, obviously, like we said a minute ago, we lost our way towards the end of last season. I felt with that, it's about learning from it. But overall, there's enough good stuff for us to have a good platform to push on. Now, the reason I bring this, obviously, we previously spoke about how the season went just a minute ago. But with this, did you personally yourself see enough good stuff throughout that season that we do have that platform to work off? Because for me personally, I think there was enough good things. I think a lot of circumstances forced our hand to be put in certain positions, which obviously affected us through that season. But overall, when the players played the system correctly, at a high tempo, fully fit, we looked incredible. Like, our football was unreal to watch. Like, you know what I mean? It's what all fans were hoping for. But now what he's saying is that the platform he's looking at, is that at times we did have this fantastic free-flowing attacking football where we literally opened teams up with a passing, we were attacking, and we were defensively sound. Is that the platform he's looking at? And do you think this season we're going to see that more frequent, and not just like one half where we're good one half, bad the next, good one half, bad the next? Because that was kind of like a roll on from Conte's era, where one half would play amazing, second half would be rubbish. So are you hoping this is what he's looking at, and hoping this pre-season that's what we're going to see, where for 90 minutes we are intense playing football and just going at teams?
Yeah, I mean, Dave, do me a favour, bring up the comment again, because obviously once you get I'm forgetting what. So we lost our way towards the end of last season. I felt with that it's about learning from it, but overall there's enough good stuff. I hate that. There's enough good stuff. That's such fluff, isn't it? For us to, listen, there is a very good platform. I will say, like you said, Conte was second half Tottenham, wasn't it? We were shocking in the first half. Came out. The first 10 games, I as brilliant as it was, and it was incredible. I was lucky enough to go away to Burnley with Ben from We Are Tottenham TV, and I've never seen the away section like that, taking on a manager in the atmosphere. I went to my first ever North London derby at the Filtherets, and obviously when we went there, I was like, just please put in a performance, please just put in a performance. So if we lose, you can say, do you know what, we gave everything. Because normally we go there and get turned over. It's like, especially recently with Nuno, Conte, whatever. Those first 10 games, no one knew what to do with us. No one could handle us. It was like, what the hell do we do now? I think we'll all be naive if people think Spurs can play at that pace for 90 minutes solid. I don't think anyone can. Man City, Liverpool, the filth can't do that 90 minutes week in, week out. I think what Tottenham or hopefully Ange will take on board, and hopefully, and we're not getting into the borders, hopefully we're recording this on July the 17th. We don't know what the team's going to look like August the 31st when the window shuts, and what we're going to have. Hopefully there will be a bigger squad, a more quality squad, so there'll be depth that he can rotate. You've got to remember there's Europe as well. So this one game a week is going to help us. Whether it did, whether it didn't, next season, or this season, shall I say, is 3 games a week. It's Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday. So 2 games a week, 3, whichever way you want to kind of look at where you start and end your week. So there needs, where he said that good stuff, what he's got to look at, in my opinion, is the good stuff you've got, you can do it. Now, the way you get better is you work on your weaknesses. If your strengths are your strengths, yes, your strengths can get better, but your weaknesses are still going to be your weaknesses. You just need, if we don't focus on our weaknesses, we're going to need to be very, 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 very ruthless up top. And let's face it, how it looks right now, do I see us like a ruthless, like a Salah, Firmino, and Mane? And you're like, Jesus Christ, what? I don't see that at the moment. So the good stuff is good, but the bad stuff needs definite work on. And hopefully, with him saying what we're good at, let's hope we do work on the stuff that we weren't so good at, and maybe these new coaches will do it. Yeah, fingers crossed. Right, let's move on to the next one, and that is about a new player that was signed, which is Archie Gray. So, Ange's quote on Archie Gray is, he was outstanding last year, probably the outstanding young player in the Championship, which we know he won the Young Player of the Year in the Championship, which is not an easy league. We know. I was super pleased that the club were able to do a deal in the end. He's a great kid, super young player, but also a great attitude. Now, obviously, the fan base was so split on this signing of Archie Gray, where his price tag was an issue. For me, it sounds like Ange really wanted him. And for me, it sounded like this is a player Ange seen in the Championship, wanted him at the club, and the club did right by spending the money on getting him. With Archie Gray and the issues surrounding him, are you worried that Spurs fans are going to do what they pretty much did to Brennan Johnson and other players and not give him the chance he needs? Because he's a young player, he's raw. He's not going to be the ready set player that obviously people might think he is, even for the price tag. Is that a worry of yours, or are you in belief that Archie Gray's going to hold his own? He's got the right attitude, he's got the right mentality. He could go straight into the first team now with his ability, and are you in that position there on these quotes now? So I've got my tagline, which I'm going to be using all season for this, which is every cloud has a grey lining. That's what I'm going to be using this season.
I like that.
It's amazing. I've been looking at it, apparently, and just to kind of show where we're at as a club, Manchester United are apparently after this teenager. And I've seen Spurs accounts going, oh my God, look at Man U going to buy these these youngsters, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, why aren't Spurs doing it? It's like, well, you're saying that now, but when Spurs go and sign the Championship Player of the Season, a guy that I've seen videos where Championship players have been saying who's the best youngster in the league, they're all saying Archie Gray. When Spurs go and sign him, oh, he's just a kid. He don't know what he's not good at. No, well, wait a minute. You've just been talking about another team signing an 18-year-old. So listen, I'm delighted with Archie Gray. I have got a couple of Leeds fans as friends that are fuming that we got him. I expect big things from him. Not saying that he's going to turn up trees right away, but I think we have a diamond on our hands. This is a lump of coal that I believe will turn into a diamond far quicker than people think. And obviously, it's quite clear Ange wanted him. We managed to get the deal done. I think he does start. What I will say is the last youngster we had of this ilk was a certain Dele Alli. And look how he turned out for the first 2 years. I think hearing these words, again, like the first one, Ange is always going to come out and say, yep, he's brilliant. I'm delighted we got him. But you've got to remember, Archie Gray played over 50 games in the Championship. And we're talking about just before saying 2 games a week, blah, blah, blah. That's non-stop in the Championship. You get your kicks in there. It's a frantic league. You got into the young Young Player of the Year, got into Young Team of the Season, or maybe even Team of the Season. And that was playing in his not favoured position in midfield. So hearing Ange talk positively about him is things you want to hear, and I can't wait to see him tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I hope we do get to see him tonight. But also moving on straight to another player that's obviously recently come to the club. Not a new signing, but this was his first time at the club type of thing. And these are quotes on Lucas Bergvall, which is he's been chomping at the bit to get over here. He's come in and looked really good in training. I'm pleased to have him part of the group. We knew that we would have a great deal that he would have a great deal to offer. He's a great young player, but also has a really good appetite for work and wanting to improve. Now, again, I've said from the start, the second we signed this kid, I'm excited to see him in a Tottenham shirt. With Ange's comments there, you've heard of like 2 players, right? Now, we know the manager's not going to turn around and say, oh, their attitude's bad or they're not good in training or anything like that. But we know that, in a team, when you give a young player a chance, you look at Man United with Mainu, right? He came into a really broken United team. He revolutionized their midfield. Such a young lad. But he has that appetite. He wants to play football. He wants to work. He wants to show what he can do. So you give him a chance. Is that what we should expect from these two? That when they enter the pitch, the second their foot hit the grass, that's it. They're there 110%. They're on the pitch fighting, because when you get players like that, it can revolutionize a team. It can up a team in the midst of something. Like we go 1-0 down. We're struggling in midfield. You had a player like an Archie Gray or a Bergvall there. They can up the team. They can give the team that tempo that they need. And also, obviously, with Bergvall and everything, we know that Archie Gray obviously was predominantly right back.
Yep.
Now being put into midfielder for us. Archie Gray recently come. Lucas Bergvall's obviously midfielder as well. Could you see a midfield of Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall, and Pape Matar working? Because obviously you got. Well, I'll let you answer that. I'll just do that. I'll bring this back up, but I'll let you answer that as well. That's your question to you for this before you start going off this.
Yeah, so first of all, the answer to that midfield is obviously it sounds incredible for the age and the future of Spurs. But will they all complement each other? We won't know. We didn't listen. I didn't know or think that Maddison, Sarr, and Basuma would hit the ground running for the first 10 games like they did. Now, back to this comment. Sorry, Dave. Just bring the comment back.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I just wanted to let you talk.
So yeah, when it comes to it, listen. There's no doubt he has looked like an incredible player. He has looked sensational playing in the Swedish league. But obviously, we have a very, very good supporter of the channel in Tony Rodriguez, who is in Sweden, who sees him regularly, speaks often enough about him, saying he's playing in the Swedish league. He's not quite there yet. Don't get me wrong. The talent is there, but obviously it's great. I mean, from what I've seen of him, from the training videos since he's arrived, and obviously they can pick the bits, he looks like this guy's on a mission. He looks like he's got a purpose. He looks like he isn't here just to make up the numbers. He wants to make an impact. And For a maverick kind of player, creator, we were talking the other day, weren't we, about players that get you on the edge of your seat. When we're talking about Bale, when we're talking about Gaza, when we're talking about other players along that ilk in Spurs history. From what I've seen, and the tricks and the flicks and the flair and the vision of this guy, he's someone that could very well be in that kind of mould of he gets the ball, oh my God, what's about to happen? I've really liked what I've seen from him. I really look like, and obviously today, I think a lot of people are looking forward to seeing Archie Gray, and a lot of people are looking forward to seeing this guy on the pitch. We know what the others can do. We've seen it. And this is down to Ange now to start giving them the minutes that they deem necessary. I think the comments Ange is making, because let's remember, this is what this is about Ange's comments. I think these kind of comments that he's reading, if you've just signed from the club, especially if you're probably from a foreign country and England is new to you, the one of the greatest adrenaline shots and boosts is your manager coming out and speaking like this. And one thing we all know is Ange with the media, and Ange personally has got all the gifts and all the tools needed to succeed. So from that, if I was Lucas Bergvall, I'll be ready to run through a brick wall.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, let's move on to the next one now. This last one, but yeah, I want to add a couple more different players into his comments here. So Ange, Postecoglou and Graham Bergvall, you can see that both of them are already really enjoying being here. Now, the reason I brought this one up is because Spurs put out a video of obviously players going over to obviously Edinburgh today in Scotland and for the game tonight against Hearts, and some of the young players we've seen who are interested is obviously Donnelly, who we know against Cambridge behind closed doors apparently played as a left back. Mikey Moore was obviously going on the plane as well, and a couple of other youth players that were there as well. With comments and the way Ange obviously sounding like Bergvall and Archie Gray are going to be predominantly with the first team, are you hoping that Ange obviously adds players like this, the Donnellys, the Mikey Moores? Will Lancashire went there as well. Now we know a couple of these have interest of going out on loan and that, especially Donnelly and Lancashire. With a pre-season, obviously they have a good chance to show themselves, showcase what they do, what they're willing to do, and things like that. Do you think these are the type of right players to be on our bench? Or do you think they should still be behind the scenes a bit more and we have more experienced players on the bench? Because we're seeing a lot of teams now use youth players. I mean, Lamar Yamal, I think his name was, 16 years old, Spain, just went and won the Euros over it. Incredible for such a young player. Should we as a club be doing that? Because we're not known for really using youth, especially out of our academy. So I'll bring it back up for you. And then
so with this, I'm mainly going to talk about how I resemble this. Ange's being, for me, Ange's being very, very clever here. Now, he knows in the back of his head, and it's pretty clear for us all to see, we do have and I hate you, golden generation coming through. Then you add Vuskovic, who is still got to come next season. I think he knows what he's got coming through. Whether he's here 4 or 5 years to see them doing it is another thing. I hope he is. But he knows right now he has got a crop of youngsters coming through that a lot of managers would die for right now. So one of the things he needs to do is the young players that are in the squad, i.e. your Bergvalls and your Grays, because let's face it, Gray is a big outlay. Bergvall is a bit of a coup over Barcelona and the prospect he is he, by making them feel happy, by making them feel comfortable, by making them feel that they're getting minutes, all those youngsters that are thinking, am I going to get game time at Tottenham? Is Tottenham the right club for me? Is the manager going to give me my opportunity? Is the manager going to nurture me? Is the manager going to have my best interests at heart? Comments like this when he goes, well, these two youngsters have come in and look how they're being treated. Look how they're being looked after. They have come in. They have got their opportunity. Yes, they may be a bit younger than some of them. Yes, they may be drafted quicker into the first team than others. But Ange has got a big responsibility now, because I remember Harry Redknapp when we had him. and he was asked a question with the Champions League football and trying to get it. You've got such a big squad. How are you going to keep your players happy? Harry Redknapp turned around and said, the best answer I think I've heard from a manager, or one of them, he said, what are you talking about? It's not my job to make them happy. It's their job to make me happy. And that's how you impress me. So Ange is playing. I can see what he's trying to do here. He's got two people in those two who obviously are going to be there or thereabouts with the first team. And how he manages them and how he shows them, because let's face it, all the youngsters are going to talk to each other, have a WhatsApp group, have this, have that. They're going to look at how these two are treated. And I have full faith in Ange to do the right things by the youngsters. I just hope he is still here in 3-4 years' time, where he gets to see the fruits of the labour.
Yeah, I agree. And, tonight at 7 o'clock, we play Hearts, and we're going to be seeing a lot of these players. We're going to see how they perform, how they act, what they're going to bring to us. It's a preseason game. The results don't matter. It is about feeling players out. It's about seeing players, what they're going to bring for us. If they're ready to actually jump into a first team, there's still a lot of players out. I mean, we've got no defense. We've got no left back. We've got no right back, Bad Emerson. It's going to be a fun one. So on that note, obviously it is time to end. Is there anything else you want to say, Bright, or is that it from you, sir?
That is it. Just please make sure that you like and drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're doing good stuff at the channel. Your support has been incredible as always. So we hope you enjoyed this little snippet of Ange's comments.
Yep, and obviously more content is going to be come out. Morning Brews should be back tomorrow. Evening Brews is tonight, I believe, Brian.
It is indeed.
It is Evening Brews tonight, so just before the game. I'm sure Brian will have more to say and other things. So on that note, Brian, would you like to send us off?
And as always, Levy out.